He just said the quiet part out loud for the Dallas Cowboys as an NFL insider says something that a lot of Cowboys fans never thought that we would ever hear, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Cowboys Football 365. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 3.2% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, but let's get right into the news for today. Coming from the Herd with Colin Cowherd, he says the Cowboys are a better football team without Micah. He thinks Jerry Jones is smart for making some of the moves that he's made for the Cowboys. Coming from Sports Illustrated, with Parsons gone, the Cowboys shifted their entire philosophy. For years, they've been explosive off the edge, but susceptible to the run up the middle. That was evident when they were blown out by the Packers in their last playoff appearance following the 2023 season. Now, with Williams and Clark joining Osa Odigizua, the Cowboys are focused on winning in the trenches. They're even utilizing a 5-man defensive line with all 3 tackles out there at the same time. Throw in the fact that they could even add more help with their 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, and it's easy to see where Colin Cowherd is coming from. So, I mean, you would have never thought that trading away the franchise player would leave the Dallas Cowboys, especially not the defense, in a better position than when he was on the team, but so far, this season has shown that maybe a crazy move like this is exactly what we needed. Going into the season, there were 2 big moves by Jerry Jones in the offseason. One, he traded a 3rd-round pick and a day 3 pick swap, picked up George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, Pickens is playing so well that he is going to be owed too much money that it's becoming a problem. We won that trade by too much. Now, the other move, and the move that we're going to focus on for this video, is of course trading away Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. Now, with the departure of Micah Parsons and the addition of only Kenny Clark, this defense was the number 2 worst defense in the NFL, behind, or I guess ahead of, only the Cincinnati Bengals in points allowed per game and yards allowed per game. But we fast forward to the trade deadline where Jerry Jones traded for Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets and Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals. And this defense is not good, mind you, but they are moving forwards towards the middle of the pack and giving our offense opportunities to actually win football games. Now, the question is this defense actually better? And is the team actually better without Micah Parsons? Now, if you look at the move that Jerry Jones has made, there are some other things that we also need to talk about. Drafting Donovan Ezeraku out of BC in the 2nd round is looking like, so far, a pretty successful 2nd-round pick. The jury's still out on Trevon Revel Jr. He's only played a couple games, but over the past 3 games, where we've seen Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, Trevon Revel Jr., and we got back Malik Hooker from injury, this defense has looked a whole lot better, and they're not looking like a top defense, but just middle of the road is enough to get this Dallas Cowboy offense and overall team victories. We're on a 3-game winning streak, and it's because of the defense is playing that much better and giving us opportunities to win. In this 2-game winning streak, or 3-game winning streak, we started off with the LA Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders, who are garbage, but then back-to-back weeks defeating the Super Bowl contenders, or the 2 teams in the last Super Bowl. So that's amazing. That's fantastic. And another part of it is we brought in a new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, who now, every time a new head coach comes in, he needs to put his own culture into the locker room. And how are you going to be able to do that when there's a player that is held to different standards than everyone else in the room? Micah Parsons was doing his podcast on the side, which is fine, but when it becomes a problem for the team, and when you're doing stuff like listing off the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL and leaving your own quarterback off of it, because first of all, Dak Prescott should have been on the list, Cowboys fan or not. Dak Prescott needs to be on your list of top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. And then that makes it a problem. And having a podcast like that is a distraction, and it's okay to have it if it's not a distraction, but Parsons' podcast was becoming a distraction to the Dallas Cowboys, and when the front office doesn't want you having it and you continue to have it, that's a problem. So now that would have made it harder for Brian Schottenheimer to actually come in and lead and be a real leader and actually put his own stamp on the Dallas Cowboys, because it would kind of be whatever Micah Parsons, goes. It would happen, because other players would look at how the stars are being treated and just be like, well, like, I know they're better than me at football, but shouldn't we all be being held to the same standard, like off the field? And shouldn't we all have to follow the same rules? And Schottenheimer would have to say, he'd have to look like an idiot and say no, or he would have to say, you're right. He has to follow different rules, but it's a problem. So now overall, the defense, looks completely different. And it was a huge risk trading away Micah Parsons. On and off the field, there is evidence that it actually was the right move. Now, remember, there is still an additional first-round pick in 2026 to continue to improve this defense. Jerry Jones, he wanted to go out and stop the run. Like, we know the number one thing he said, like, he was willing to give up one of the best young defenders in his prime, or just about to enter his prime, to stop the run. So this team, you knew they were going to be built from the inside out to stop the run. And he did that with Quinnen Williams, with the addition of Kenny Clark. Osa Odighizuwa, already here, great player. But he was already here, so he wasn't just a new addition. This defense is now going to be able to stop the run at a significantly higher level, because that is all this defense is built for. Now, I forgot to actually talk about DeMarvion Overshown, one of the players coming back. His first game of the season was that Raider game. Our best linebacker, in my opinion, I think in pretty much every Cowboy fan opinion as well. But just want to put that out there. Overshown, also another game changer. Him coming back is another big reason why this defense looks so much better and actually gives us a chance to win games and make the playoffs. Now, when we don't have a closer, I mean, you can argue Quinnen Williams is a closer, but when you don't have that guy on third down who's going to get after the quarterback and be a problem for offensive tackles on the other side and for offensive lines on the other side, if you don't have that guy, maybe, Super Bowl is out of the question. But I mean, I'm not saying that this is a Super Bowl defense. I'm just saying this defense is in a better position than, it's very realistic that they're in a better position without Micah Parsons than they were with him, which is an absolutely crazy thing to say, just because of how elite Micah Parsons is. And now you look at the last couple Super Bowls, the Philadelphia Eagles, their best defensive lineman, their defensive tackle, Jalen Carter, who was even their number one edge rusher. Like, there's no one there who's really running up sacks like that. You look at the two Super Bowl champions before the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, best defensive lineman, their defensive tackle in Chris Jones. Their best edge rusher, is it Felix, the guy at K-State, Felix Azarike Udama? Not really exactly sure what his name is. Is it him? Is it George Karlaftis? Who's even their best pass rusher? We're seeing, or who's their best edge rusher? We know who their best pass rusher is. Who's the best edge rusher on that team? We are seeing that it maybe you don't need that super elite edge rusher on the outside. Now, while it makes it certainly a whole lot easier, Jerry Jones has given the Cowboys so much more flexibility with the extra draft capital and with the cap space that we freed up by not paying Micah Parsons. Now, we have to remember a lot of that cap space went towards Quinnen Williams, but a whole lot of it got freed up because Parsons is making currently more than Quinnen Williams, and he's an edge rusher. They make more than interior defensive linemen. So while this statement from Colin Cowherd sounds like something absolutely crazy, and it's something that I'm sure no one was even considering at the time of the trade or when the trade talks were happening, this defense may very well be on the field better without Micah Parsons, but my main core argument is overall the Cowboys are in a better spot without him. And it's the defense, even though we stopped the run better, I don't think the defense is better without Micah Parsons. With the new additions, I mean, Hooker was going to come back regardless of Parsons or not. DeMarvion Overshown was coming back, Parsons or not. The defense on the field is not better, but with no Parsons in the locker room, it is easier for our coach to come in and put his stamp on the locker room, and it is easier, and now we have extra draft picks and flexibility to assemble a better roster around the guys that we have in this locker room. So overall, roster-wise, defense is not better without Micah, but overall the Dallas Cowboys are a better team without Micah Parsons, but it's a culture thing, not just an X's and O's schematical thing. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Cowboys.